We're now going to speak to Andreas Harsono, who's the Indonesia researcher at Human Rights Watch, joining us from Jakarta this hour. Thanks for your time. We've seen the use of tear gas, water cannons, and deadly force during these protests. Is there any precedent in Indonesia for this level of crackdown on demonstrations?
There are. There are many precedents like this. Police use excessive use of force in cracking down the protests, not only in Jakarta, but also in Medan, in Surabaya, and many other cities, just over the last 1 week, but also during the previous protests over the last few years. That's why people are frustrated with the use of excessive force by the police.
The death of the 21-year-old motorcyclist has sparked nationwide outrage, as we can see. From a human rights perspective, what should the Indonesian government be doing right now to ensure accountability and to prevent further violence?
First, the police, the government, should release hundreds of demonstrators that were being arrested, detained, some were beaten over the last 1 week. Some said 400, some said at least 600 being arrested in Surabaya, in Bandung, and many other cities. They should all be released. The second, the investigation within the police should not be based on ethical code of conduct. Should be based on, criminal code, because people get beaten, fatally shot, and that is not the only person who was hit by a police car. No, there are also other cases that are not as viral as the one involving Afan Kurniawan in Jakarta. Last but not the least, there should be a real independent review about how the national police react, why the national police like to use excessive use of force over the last, let's say, 1 decade.
And from what you see and based on the investigation so far, do you believe that it is being transparent and that justice will be served in this process?
If we learn from other incidents, I'm afraid it will not meet the public demand, the accountability that the public really want. In West Papua, for instance, there are, torture, beating, and we still do not know what happened to the perpetrators, to the soldiers, to the police officers involved in all of those beatings. Also in Bandung, in Medan, Ambon. But I hope that this viral moment, this public anger, widespread anger, will be a wake-up call for the national police, for the Indonesian armed forces, that they should end this kind of business like usual.
Well, these protests aren't just about one tragedy, right? They're tapping into broader frustrations, like the cost of living across the country. Do you think that these demonstrations could trigger a wider national movement? And where do you see this heading to next?
There are many factors involved. I think the most important factor is economy. The exchange rate, rupiah to the US dollar, the availability of food, sugar, rice in the market. If those things are starting to be invisible or not fully available in the market, then it will be serious.
Andreas Harsono, you're the Indonesia researcher at Human Rights Watch, speaking to us from Jakarta this hour. Thank you.